good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am just Mike. You are watching and you are listening to episode number 50 of the Rock Out Wild Show, where it is not just a show, it is a way of life. Now, if you are new to this video, if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below this very video. You can also like or dislike this episode of the Rock Out Wild Show. And also, you can share episode 50 of the Rock Out Wild Show on all of your social media platforms, from your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram, your X, what have you. And also spread the word. Tell everyone you know, from your family to your friends, to your coworkers, to your acquaintances. Tell everyone about what the Rock Out Wild Show is all about. I am your host, Just Mike, and this is the second last episode of the Rock Out Wild Show for 2025. As you see from the title of this very video, I will be ranking all of John Cena's WrestleMania matches from the worst to the best. And you know how people talk about the never see 17, John Cena being a 17-time champion? Well, it just so happened to be that John Cena has had 17 WrestleMania matches, and I will list them off, what I think is the worst, what I think is the best, counting it down from 17 to number 1. That will be the main event of this very episode, and welcome to a milestone event that is episode 50 of the Rock Out Wild Show. On the docket, we are also going to take a look at on this day for December the 10th in the world of professional wrestling, sports, music, film, and television. But to kick things off for episode number 50 of the Rock Out Wild Show is a movie review reaction. I am going to react to an old movie review of mine from early 2015, back in January, called American Sniper. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is turn on the webcam and say hi to everyone watching and listening to this all around the world. What is up and how is it going, everybody? Hope you're all ready for Christmas. I am almost done. I might go to a couple of places and then I'm done. Without further ado, let's react to my movie review for American Sniper, starring Bradley Cooper. So I'm going to get the headphones out here. I am going to present, share screen, make sure the audio is on, and go to the review. And let's go full screen. And let's react in 3, 2, 1, action. With movies like Predestination, Selma, and now American Sniper, I feel like that the January curse has now been lifted. But I'm just hoping that I'm not speaking too soon. So before I get into my reaction to this review, I'm going to predict the amount of points I will give this movie. My guess is a 76. So a 76 out of 100. That's my guess. I don't know what my points... I actually forget what my points are for this movie because it's been so long since I've seen this. So let's do this. Hey, what is up, all movie fans in the movieverse? Welcome to the Mike McRock Movie Review Show. Right now I'm going to review American Sniper, and American Sniper is based on the true story about Chris Kyle, who is a Navy SEAL, and he's really good at what he does. He's a sniper, and he's the best at what he does, and he killed something like 160 or 170 people, something like that, and he is just absolutely amazing in what this guy goes through. And then now I'm going to pause it here because I want to talk about something before I continue. Little did I know then what I know now. So I was binge watching a bunch of Jesse the Body Ventura stuff, his interviews and all that stuff. And he told the story about the real American Sniper and how that lawsuit came to be and all that sorts of stuff. Go look for it on YouTube if you don't know about it. It is amazing in hindsight how this movie is tainted a little bit, but during the time I watched it, I'm sure I had a good time with it. So let's continue.
This movie, this true guy, Chris Kyle, is played by Bradley Cooper, and I thought Bradley Cooper, to me, was the only actor to play Chris Kyle. He was absolutely great. His emotions were great. The way he handled himself in certain situations was just outstanding to watch this guy act. Bradley Cooper was this movie, The American Sniper.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
with
he
that
was.
being said, of course, the supporting cast is going to be pushed to the side, but I did like his wife in the movie, played by Sienna Miller, who was trying to bring Bradley Cooper's character back to family, even though uh, Chris Kyle, played by Bradley Cooper, wanted to stay in the war and be in the war. You had the wife trying to bring him back to family, and I love the dynamics and how they played off each other very well, and of course the post-traumatic stress disorder that comes with it.
Yeah,
Now, one of the problems I have with this movie is that I think this would have been a really good opportunity to explore a lot more emotion and depth to Bradley Cooper's character. I'm not saying that he was a bad actor. Like I said just then, I thought Bradley Cooper was outstanding in his role. But I think that this movie could have played a lot more deeper, and I mean deep to the core with his emotions, what he was going through the war.
yeah,
Another thing I had a problem with was the way this movie ended. Now, to me, the ending is the most important aspect when it comes to delivering a really great movie. And don't get me wrong, this was a good movie, but not a great movie. And the way this movie ended was kind of like pushed to the wayside a little bit. It was like, yeah, this is what happened. And it was like, okay. I would have liked to see how he died in the movie. It just
right,
stated that, oh, he just died, and we never really got to see that. I think
right,
to
yeah,
me that was a letdown,
hmm
but the action sequences in this movie were absolutely heart pounding, nail biting, and really intense. And there were really suspenseful moments with uh, with Bradley Cooper in this movie. While he was aiming the gun, he was like, should I kill the kid? Should I not? He was really
right,
conflicted. I
yeah,
like those scenes.
yeah.
That
I agree.
shows that the main character is conflicted of what he wants or needs to do at that moment in time. And it was just, oh man, it just left me on the edge of my seat with intensity. It was that intense, and that sandstorm at the end where you really couldn't see anything, and he was just struggling to get back on the plane to go home,
Yeah,
and oh man, it's not for the faint of heart. I will say that, and the way he acts in the post-traumatic stress disorders was absolutely brilliant. I like how they teased those moments and how he almost goes all the way, but not all the way. He goes halfway. I think that was smart because if he goes all the way, then oh, then people may dislike him. And I think,
right,
again, that's probably one of the key things that this movie should have played on a lot more is that it seems to have a black and white approach when the subject matter is nothing but gray area. I mean,
that is true.
is this guy a hero or a villain? They could have explored that more. There's just so many things that they could have done in this movie that they never got the chance to do. That's the only thing. There was also this revenge story that was going on in this movie with another sniper that was fighting on the other side, who was in the Olympics. We saw a picture of him playing in the Olympics, and for some reason they never went all the way with that. It kind of got forgotten about. It was pushed to the wayside as well. I mean, why even start to go there when you're not going to go all the way with it?
That is true.
I'm disappointed in this movie, but I thought the way this movie was directed and handled was absolutely great. I wanted to give this movie more points than I wanted to, but sadly I can't. But it's still a good movie to watch, and I would say that American Sniper delivered 74 points
Oh,
out of
off
100.
by 2.
And if you saw this movie, what did you think about it? Feel free to comment in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button as well to get McRuffed.
Yeah, so that was my reaction, or lack of reaction, I should say, of my review for American Sniper from 2015. What did I think about the movie back then? As you see, I thought it was a good movie, not a great movie. Would I decide to watch this movie again? Maybe. I don't know. But after learning about the real person behind the American Sniper, I'm on the fence. I'm hesitant on watching this again. So that's my 2 cents on the matter in retrospect. And that was my little thing, my review on American Sniper starring Bradley Cooper. Now let's get to the usual stuff that you normally see on the Rock Out Wild show. And that is on this day for December the 10th. We're going to start things off with film and television. So let's present and share a screen and see what happened in the world of movies and TV history for December the 10th. We're going all the way back to 1899 when Frank Windekind's play Dear Kammersager premieres in Berlin. And I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly. All the way back there. Holy crap. In 1926, first radio broadcasts in the Springfield area, WCBS, or Springfield. In 1952, WSLS TV Channel 10 in Roanoke, Virginia begins broadcasting. In 1953, Como TV Channel 4 in Seattle, Washington begins broadcasting. Also in 53, musical review John Murray Anderson's Almanac starring Harry Belafonte, Hermond, Gingold, and Orson Bean opens at Imperial Theater, New York City, runs for 229 performances, with Belafonte earning a Tony Award. Also in 53, WSTV, now WTOV, TV Channel 9 in Steubenville, Wheeling, Ohio begins. In 1962, David Lean's film Lawrence of Arabia, based on the life of T.E. Lawrence and starring Peter O'Toole, premieres at Odison Leicester Square. Academy Awards Best Picture of 1963. In 1963, also 6-year-old Donny Osmond's singing debut on The Andy Williams Show. In 1967, CBS officially renamed CBS TV Studio 50 in New York as the Ed Sullivan, let's say it again, Ed Sullivan Theater. It's more like Ed Television, if you know you know, in celebration of the 20th anniversary of his program. In 1971, Lucasfilm is founded as a film and television production company by George Lucas in San Francisco, California, and they say he's cutting edge. In 1973, Bruno Sammartino beats Sean Stasiak to become the WWF champ for the second time. That's too many W's back then. In 1975, Terry Funk beats Jack Briscoe in Miami Beach, Florida to become NWA Wrestling Champ. A couple of wrestling stuff amongst the film and television. That's not bad. In 1978, Superman the movie, directed by Richard Donner and starring Christopher Reeve, Marlon Brando, and Gene Hackman and Margaret Kidder, premieres at the Uptown Theater in Washington, D.C. In 1985, Out of Africa, based on the book by Isaac Dyson, directed by Sidney Pollack, and starring Meryl Streep and Robert Redford, premieres in Los Angeles. Best Picture of 1986. In 1987, Nightline is seen in USSR for the first time. In 1993, Doom, pioneered first-person shooter video game, is uploaded onto the internet by ID Software. And they made a movie out of it too. In the year 2001, The Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings film directed by Peter Jackson and starring Elijah Wood and Ian McKellen, premieres in London, England. In 2003, 14th Billboard Music Awards, 50 Cent and Shania Twain win. In 2015, Take Me to Church by Hoyser won Song of the Year at the BBC Music Awards. In 2016, Rogue One, first of the Star Wars anthology films directed by Gareth Edwards and starring Felicity Jones, premieres in Los Angeles. And those are all the events that happened in the world of film and television for December the 10th. Now let's take a look at on this day in the world of music. The Tragic Loss of the King of Soul. On this day in music, December the 10th, 1967, tragedy struck when 26-year-old soul star Otis Redding and nearly every member of his young backing bands, the Bar-Kays, were killed in a plane crash. The musicians had just kicked off a string of Midwestern dates and were on their way to play a show in Wisconsin when Redding's private jet went down. Known as the King of Soul, the highly influential artist left behind a mighty legacy while his Grammy-winning film recording, a final recording, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, went on to become the first posthumous #1 record on both the Billboard Hot 100 and R&B charts. In the decades following his death, Redding was also honored with a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, as well as the inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame, and the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and soon to be the Just Mike Music Hall of Fame sometime next year. In 1966, the Beach Boys scored their third #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 with the innovative Good Vibrations. Produced by Brian Wilson, the song was recorded in an unorthodox manner through short, interchangeable music fragments. In 2001, Eminem went to #1 in the UK with Stan, featuring British singer Dido. The song also topped the charts in 11 countries, including Australia, Germany, and Iceland. In 1973, the famed music club CBGB opened in Manhattan East Village. The venue would soon become ground zero for the emerging punk and new wave scenes, hosting some of the earliest shows by the Ramones, Television, Patti Smith, Blondie, and the Talking Heads. In 1949, Fats Domino recorded his first tracks for Imperial Records, including one of his signature hits, The Fat Man. In 2021, I should say, Mike Nesmith of the Monkees passed away at the age of 78. Outside of his work with the pop group, Nesmith also found success as a songwriter, most notably with the song Different Drum, which became a hit for Linda Ronstadt and the Stone Ponies in 1967. In 1965, 18-year-old David Bowie recorded Can't Help Thinking About Me. It was his first song under the David Bowie moniker, after previously releasing singles as Davy Jones and Davy Jones. In 1983, Sir Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson began a 6-week run at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 with their collaborative hit, Say, Say, Say. In 1975, ABBA released Fernando. The song quickly became one of the Swedish group's most popular singles, selling more than 6 million copies in its first year. You could say they took a chance on them. Pun intended. And in 2007, Led Zeppelin reunited after 19 years to perform at the Ahmed Intergun tribute concert in London. Obviously, they couldn't get John Bonham, but I do believe they did have his son Jason Bonham there with them. We have some birthdays here for in the world of music. For December the 10th, we have Chad Stewart from Chad and Jeremy, born in 1941. Also born in 1941, Ralph Tavers from Tavers. In 1954, Jeff Dean from Modern Romance was born on this day. We got Gareth Smith from Buzzcocks, was born in 1955. Jay Mazix from Dinosaur Jr. was born on this day in 1965. From Placebo, Brian Molko was born in 1972. And Meg White from the White Stripes was born in 1974 on December the 10th. Those are all the events, highlights, and so much more in the world of music. Now let's take a look at a lot of stuff that happened in the world of sports for December the 10th. And we're going back all the way to 1810 with this here. English bare knuckle boxer Tom Cribb beats African-American Tom Montague in 33rd of 40 round bout at Comtel Common, England. First interracial boxing match. Piece of history right there. In 1831, Spirit of the Times, the premier sports journal of the 19th century, begins publishing in New York City. In 1918, John Hyder becomes president of Baseball's National League for the second time. In 1919, New York Yankees Boston Red Sox and Chicago White Sox oppose American League resolution accusing league president Ben Johnson of overstepping his duties. Also in 1919, National League votes to ban the spitball's use by all new pitchers. In 1922, first National Football League championship, undefeated Canton Bulldogs named inaugural champions. Also in 22, Canton Bulldogs future Hall of Fame tackle Pete Henry makes the longest known NFL drop-kicked field goal 45 yards. In 1924, agreement reached on permanent rotation of World Series with each league getting games 1, 2, 6, 7 in alternating years. In 1934, NFL adopts player waiver rule applies after 6th game of season. In 1935, MLB Chicago White Sox sell contract of Al Simmons to Detroit Tigers for $75,000. I mean, back then, that was a lot. Wouldn't be so much now. And also in 35, MLB Philadelphia Athletics sell infielder Jimmy Fox's contract to Boston Red Sox for $150,000, about $2.8 million in 2020 dollars. In 1938, CFL Grey Cup in repeat of last year. Toronto Argonauts defeated Winnipeg Blue Bombers 30-7 to retain championship. In 1939, National Football League Championship, Dairy Bowl, West Allis, Wisconsin. Green Bay Packers beat New York Giants 27-0, Packers' 5th title. In 1941 NFL Draft, Tom Harmon from University of Michigan, first picked by Chicago Bears. In 1945, Ost Services lose 3rd victory Test cricket to India by 6 wickets. In 1954, National League Philadelphia Phillies purchase Connie Mack Stadium, where they had been tenants since 1938, from the American League A's, who head west to Kansas City, I should say. In 1958, University of Pittsburgh agrees to buy Forbes Field from the MLB Pirates baseball team. In 1961, Houston Oilers utility back Billy Cannon gains AFL record 373 yards combined rushing, receiving in 48-21 win over New York Titans at the Polo Grounds, New York City. In 1965, Test cricket debut of Doug Walters versus England at the Gabba. In 1968, Joe Frazier beats Oscar Bonavia in 15 for heavyweight boxing title. In 1970, North American Soccer League awards New York and Toronto franchises. In 1973, for the first time since 1885, tennis has two top-ranked male players, American Stan Smith and Jimmy Connors. In 1978, 67th Davis Cup, USA beats Great Britain in Rancho Mirage 4-1. In 1978, also, Islanders in 15-game undefeated streak to Canadians. In 1982, heavyweights Michael Dokes knockouts Spike Weaver in 103 in Las Vegas. I wonder, is he related to James Dokes by any chance? Surprise, mother trucker. Oh, and you owe me a new militia, you mother trucker. I'm watching you. I mean, he kind of resembles. Well, actually, that's Mike Weaver. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, moving on. In 1983, Australian Open women's tennis, Martina Navratilova wins 8th career Grand Slam singles event, beats Kathy Jordan of the US 6-2 and 7-6. I am sorry if I mispronounced your last name just a few seconds ago. Also in 83, last NFL game at Shea Stadium, Steelers beat New York Jets 34-7. In 1986, Atlanta Hawk Dominique Wilkins scores 57 points versus Chicago Bulls. And also in 86, Ivan Lindell repeats previous year results with a 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 win over Boris Becker to claim back-to-back season-ending ATP Masters Grand Prix tennis titles at Madison Square Garden, New York City. In 1988, Washington Capitals first NHL scoreless tie versus the Montreal Canadiens. In 1991, Howard Spira, sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for trying to extort money from Yankees owner George Steinbrenner. In 1992, NHL awards franchises to Miami and Anaheim for 1994 to 1995. Also in 92, New York Yankees sign free agent pitcher Jimmy Kay. In 94, 60th Heisman Trophy Award, Razan Salam, Colorado. In 1995, first meeting of NBA expansion teams, Raptors beats the Grizzlies 93-81. Also in 95, Australian cricket opening batsman Michael Slater scores career high 20 of 219 in innings and 36-run first test win versus Sri Lanka in Perth. The heck does that mean? I really don't know cricket all that much. In 1995 also, Ricky Ponting makes 96 on Test cricket debut. In the year 2000, when we will make it up to you, 89th Davis Cup, Spain beats Australia in Barcelona 3-1. In 2001, 67th Heisman Trophy Award, Eric Crouch, Nebraska quarterback. In 2005, 71st Heisman Trophy Award, Reggie Bush, USC. Bush later forfeits trophy. In 2006, British Broadcasting Corporation gives Swedish tennis icon Bjorn Borg a Lifetime Achievement Award presented by Boris Becker. In 2011, Kawhi Leonard signs a multi-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs following the conclusion of the NBA lockout. In 2012, 78th Heisman Trophy Award, Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M, first freshman to win the award. Also in 2012, Norwegian chess champion Magnus Carlsen breaks Gary Kasparov's 13-year ELO rating record. In 2016, 82nd Heisman Trophy Award, Lamar Jackson, Louisville Cardinals youngest player to win at 19. And in 2022, 88th Heisman Trophy Award, Caleb Williams, USC. Those are all the things that happened in the events in the world of sports for December the 10th. And for the final installment of On This Day, we're going to look at professional wrestling because our main event won't be a wrestling topic. So this will really coincide with that. So let's do this. As you see here, picture of Undertaker and Rikishi as Rikishi falls off the Hell in a Cell. So I sort of remember that match. In 1972, Ric Flair makes his professional wrestling debut in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Flair wrestles George Jadesky to a time limit draw. In 1973, Bruno Sammartino beat Sean Stasiak in Madison Square Garden. We went over this in New York City to win his second WWF Championship. He became the first man to win the belt on more than one occasion. In 1975, Terry Funk beat Jack Briscoe in Miami, Florida to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. With this win, the Funk brothers, Terry and his brother Dory, became the first and to date only pair of brothers to both hold this championship. In 1999, Ginochiro Tineru snared the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in a match with Keiji Muto in Osaka, Japan. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce those correctly. In the year 2000, at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama, the main event was the first and only six-man Hell in a Cell match with the WWF Championship on the line. Kurt Angle successfully defended the title against Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rikishi, I Did It for The Rock, The Undertaker, and Triple H. The match was perhaps most famous for Undertaker chokeslamming Rikishi from the top of the cell, as you saw on that picture, onto a heavy padded flatbed truck. Elsewhere on the card, Edge and Christian won the WWF Tag Team Championships in a fatal four-way tag team match against the Dudley Boys, Road Dogg and K-Quit, and Right to Censor, Bull Buchanan, and The Godfather. In 2006, TNA Turning Point took place at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. No title changed hands on that night. Abyss retained the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match against Sting and Christian Cage. The main event saw Samoa Joe defeat Kurt Angle by submission. In 2007, WWE presented a special 15th anniversary edition of Raw in Bridgeport, Connecticut. A number of famous names such as Steve Austin and Eric Bischoff made cameos. The only title changed hand on that night saw Cody Rhodes and Hardcore Holly defeat Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. In other notable matches, Evolution, Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair reformed to face Edge, Randy Orton, and Umaga. Evolution won by disqualification. A gimmick battle royal was also held and won by Ted DiBiase. Other participants included Doink the Clown, The Goon, Skinner, Pete Gas, Gilbert, Flash Funk, and Steve Blackman. In 2010, at a taping of Ring of Honor on HDNet, Christopher Daniels won the ROH Television Championship against Eddie Edwards. In 2012, Japanese wrestling icon Kenta Kobashi announced that he would retire in 2013. In 2015, NXT held their first ever outside the USA with their first night of the UK tour taking place at the Metro Radio Arena in Newcastle, England. Finn Balor defeated the NXT Championship in the main event against Sami Zayn. In 2018 on Monday Night Raw, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode won the Raw Tag Team Championships with a handicap match win over the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, as well as their manager Drake Maverick. And in 2020, Tiny Zeus Lister was found dead at his Mariana Del Rey, California home at the age of 62. I almost said 82, if only he was. Lister starred opposed Hulk Hogan as the villain Zeus in the movie No Holds Barred. He then reprised the character to main event several pay-per-views in 1989 in tag team matches opposite Hogan. We have some wrestling birthdays. For December the 10th, we have JTG from Crime Time, was born on this day in 84. Matt Bensley was born on December the 10th, 1979. And Steve Bradley was born on December the 10th, 1975. And Tommy Lister Jr. was passed away 5 years ago on this day in 2020. Those are all the events that happened in the world of professional wrestling for December the 10th. And speaking of wrestling, I do believe it is about that time for the main event of this very episode. I have the list right up here in front of me. I am going to rank all 17 of John Cena's WrestleMania matches. Now, before I get into this list, in just 3 days from this very episode of the Rock Out Wild Show, John Cena will have his final match on Saturday night's main event against the winner of this tournament. Now, at the time of this recording, it is November the 27th, so there is no winner just yet, but we will know who that is by the time this episode airs. I'm assuming and I'm hoping it's going to be Gunther, because I think Gunther is really the only person I can think of that's in this tournament right now to retire John Cena. I mean, when you think about it, Gunther retired Goldberg on Saturday night's main event. And it sucks that the Saturday night's main event cut off Goldberg's speech at the end. But still, Gunther was the right guy to retire Goldberg. And I think it is the case with this. But John Cena had a lot of WrestleMania matches. And a lot of them, I think, were either really bad or disappointing. But there are some redeeming ones in between. There were some good to great ones in there. So without further ado, I present to you my ranking of John Cena's WrestleMania matches from the worst to the best. Kicking things off at number 17 on this list from WrestleMania 33, John Cena and Nikki Bella versus the Miz and Maurice. The best thing about this match, I really can't think of something that thinks that this match is any good at all. The only thing I took away from this was that this was a waste of time. This match should have never have happened. There was no need for this match. This could have been just John Cena and The Miz one-on-one to make up for what was a really bad main event, which I will get to later on. Well, in just a bit, actually. But, yeah, this match, there's a reason why I put this at the very bottom. This match sucked. And the only thing I really remember from this is that John Cena proposed to Nikki Bella after the match. And look where they are now. They are not married. So, yeah, they're pretty much separated. And, yeah, there's really not a lot of liking with me with that match at all. Coming in at number 16 on this list, I just mentioned it, John Cena versus The Miz at WrestleMania 27 for the WWE title. This match, to me, was just a commercial to promote John Cena versus The Rock at next year's WrestleMania 2028, once in a lifetime, which I'll get to much later on. So, with that said, I think that this match here, John Cena and The Miz at WrestleMania 27, this was a doozy. I did not like this match at all. This match did drag in parts. And it sucks that The Miz, as much as I like The Miz, he was pretty much the third wheel throughout this entire thing. And I kind of feel bad for him. Even though that he won, it was never about The Miz. This match was never about The Miz. Like I said, this was about advancing John Cena and The Rock. So that's my only takeaway from this. Coming in at number 15 on this list, John Cena's latest WrestleMania match. WrestleMania 41 for the WWE for the WWE title against Cody Rhodes. Oh, this match had some things going for it leading up to it. I mean, there was the idea of bringing in The Rock for this. Where was he? He was nowhere to be seen. So many things were very disappointing with this match. I don't even know where to begin with it. You had John Cena during his heel run at this time. And before at Elimination Chamber, he turned heel on Cody. While I think it was a good heel turn in execution, the heel run itself, it sucked. Absolutely sucked. And this WrestleMania event right here just proved why that heel run really sucked. And so I'm looking at this match with Cena and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 for the title, thinking this match could have been so much more. This was a coulda, shoulda, woulda, and it ultimately wasn't. So that's the reason why that's at number 15 on this list. Yeah, there was no Rock. If The Rock came out, this match would have been a little bit higher, but I can't on good conscience bring it up to that par at all. Coming in at number 14 on this list, John Cena versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39, Night 1 for the U.S. title. Going into this match, I remember this being, okay, this is John Cena going to give Austin Theory the rub. This is John Cena going to put over a young talent, and it's going to matter. Look what happened in hindsight. No, it didn't. Where is Austin Theory now? Exactly. Nowhere to be seen. Or if not at all, limited to what he's doing right now in wrestling. So with all that being said, John Cena Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39 for the U.S. title. It was a okay match. I mean, you had the spot with the low blow. It wasn't a clean finish. I get that. But Austin Theory did not benefit a win from John Cena at all. It didn't catapult him to the next level. There was just, to me, when I look at this match was a waste of time. So that's all I have to say about that. Coming in at number 13 on this list, John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 29 for the WWE title. This is the twice in a lifetime match on this list. And to me, when I look at this match, I think this was just an absolute finisher spam after another. I kick out of your move. I kick out of your move. AAs over and over. The rock bottoms over and over. People's elbow over and over. Yeah, this match, not as good as their 28 match at all, which I will get into much later on. This match didn't have the magic that their first match had, and that's why it's a bit of a drag to get through. That's why it's at number 13 on this list. Coming in at number 12 from WrestleMania 25, John Cena versus Edge versus Big Show for the World Heavyweight title. To me, when I look back and think about this match, the only good thing I like about it was the attitude adjustment where Cena had up both the Big Show and Edge on his shoulders. That's the only thing I really remember from this match. Other than that, this match was largely forgettable. It was a doozy. This had to follow the greatness that was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Their first encounter at 25. So, yeah, this match was an absolute abomination and an abortion of a match. It's a wonder I don't have this a lot lower. It's a wonder. And I'm only going to give it credit because of that one moment that I remember out of it. And other than that, there's no reason for Big Show to be in this match at all. This could have been just John Cena versus Edge, blood rivalry, and this could have been easily a top 5 or 10 contender on this list. But I can't because Big Show was in it. and which kind of ruined it for me. I'm not discrediting the Big Show. I don't mind the Big Show at all. It's just adding the Big Show in this match just wasn't necessary in my opinion. Coming in at number 11 on this list, John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Triple H at WrestleMania 24 for the WWE title. This match had to follow Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair career-threatening match. I'm Sorry I Love You super kick. I should say Sweet Chin Music. And this took an absolute dud afterwards. And this is a match that had a lot going on with it. You had the whole backstory between Randy Orton and Triple H. You had so many matches between John Cena and Randy Orton. This again, I don't know if you needed Triple H to be in this. I don't. This could have been just strictly Cena and Orton. Of all the times John Cena and Randy Orton had a singles match, not one at WrestleMania. No, we had to settle for a triple threat because Triple H has a big ego. So that's why that match is at number 11 on this list. Coming in at number 10, this is going to be a little bit unpopular opinion here, but I think John Cena versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 34 is a decent match. Now, I can understand why people will be disappointed with it because it was only a couple of minutes long. It was pretty much an enhancement squash match where The Undertaker gets the win. But the way I see it, Undertaker looked like he actually performed pretty well. Even though you didn't really want to risk a 20-minute match with him, he actually looked good here. And so did Cena. And I think those two done a tremendous job for the time that they were given. I think it's an underrated John Cena WrestleMania match here. That's my take on the matter. Coming in at number 9 on this list, from WrestleMania 31, John Cena versus Rusev for the U.S. title. This was when John Cena was doing the whole open challenge for the U.S. title stuff going on here. And when in terms of match quality, it's actually a decent match. These Cena and Rusev had a really good back and forth here. The only problem I have with this match is that John Cena had to win here. Rusev, even though Rusev right now has a decent career, Rusev's career could have benefited so much more if he would have beat John Cena. There's going to be maybe one or two others you'll see on this list. Well, actually, I'm looking at one right now where the other guy could have won. But John Cena versus Rusev, solid match. Wrong guy won. But it wasn't the worst Cena WrestleMania match ever. It just wasn't. It's a middle of the road type of deal. Coming in at number 8 on this list, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. This match, to me, had a lot of build-up to it. It had some really good build-up to it, a lot of good storyline elements going on here. And the match itself, as the match was going on, it was telling a good story. You have Bray Wyatt, God rest his soul, trying to get John Cena to hit him with a steel chair here. And that was the story. And it caused that DQ finish. That would have been a good way to end the match and let the feud continue. But what happened again? Well, John Cena beat Bray Wyatt. That was the absolute wrong decision to make. And that really put a damper on Bray Wyatt's momentum as a singles performer. That really did. And it sucks because he could have been so much more than the way he was treated by Vince and Cena back 10 years ago. Yeah, Cena Bray Wyatt. In terms of the match quality, it was a decent match, but again, it's just that end result. Cena did not need to win this match at all. This should have been either a DQ finish, or you have Bray Wyatt go over and you have him go over strong. Coming in at number 7 on this list, John Cena versus Triple H at WrestleMania 22 for the WWE title. This match was the main event in Chicago, Illinois then. And What do I think about this match here? It's a decent match. Again, it's not a great match. It's not a horrible match, but it's right there in the middle. And in terms of dynamics within the ring here, Cena and Triple H, they don't mesh well. Not like Cena Punk, Cena AJ Styles, or anything like that. But I think these two went out and put on a decent main event in Chicago that night. And you have John Cena go over, obviously. But the one thing I really remember John Cena versus Triple H at WrestleMania 22 for was that the Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks chance really started here. And this is when people were starting to see through John Cena then. They were saying, oh, Cena, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, boo Cena, and all this and that. They were starting to see right through him when they started to realize this is Super Cena at work here. And this was the way Vince was going about to book Cena for the next 10 years after. Coming in at number 6 on this list, John Cena versus John Bradshaw Layfield at WrestleMania 21 for the WWE title. Ultimately, what do I think about this match? This was an alright match. Yeah, this match kind of dragged a little bit every now and then, but I didn't mind this match. It was a bit of a short match for a title match, too. And this title match was secondary to Batista and Triple H that year for the world title. So this did not main event WrestleMania 21 at all. And in terms of this match, I think John Cena was definitely the right guy to go over JBL. JBL was the transitional champion. You have JBL beat Eddie Guerrero, and then you have JBL go on a 9-month-long reign with it. And you have Cena beat JBL here at WrestleMania 21. I mean, yeah, it's a predictable finish, but it's the finish that makes the most sense here. And I kind of like the characters in this match. You have JBL, who's the working class guy, and you have Cena, who was still basic thugonomics then. You know, he was the street rapping kind of guy. So these two characters, I think, really mesh well in the ring. It's just that I think there's a few more matches that I like a little bit more. Now we have only 5 left, and what do I have at number 5? Well, it is John Cena's first ever WrestleMania match. At WrestleMania 20 for the US title against the champion then, the Big Show. And John Cena won, beat the Big Show for the US title, which again, another case of the right guy goes over. You have the Big Show put over the young guy. You have Big Show solidify John Cena as the next star. And John Cena winning the US title was the right move to make here. This was a decent match, not a great match, not a bad match at all. And this was the kickoff to WrestleMania 20 as well. And the whole motto for WrestleMania 20 is where it all began again. This is a really good way to establish that new generation, that young talent, to have Cena go over Big Show. And you get the whole thing where Cena cheats to win. He uses the chain on the Big Show, and he lifts him up not once but twice for 2 FUs. That's how strong Cena is. So John Cena wins, and everybody goes home happy. Number 4 on this list, John Cena versus Batista at WrestleMania 26 for the WWE title. This is a match where I almost forgot how good this was, and I played this match back. This was a pretty good match here. So from here on out, 4, 3, 2, and 1, these matches are the good to great John Cena WrestleMania matches here. I'm going to, in terms of John Cena Batista for the title at WrestleMania 26, I mean, the stuff they were doing, it was really, really good. The in-ring quality here is top notch. And it's a win-win for both of them. And you have the whole thing with the Rumble, where they both won, but they didn't. Yeah, Vince coming out tearing his 2 quads. Can't beat it. You can't beat the classics. Coming in at number 3 on this list, once in a lifetime, John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 28. This match, to me, I thought was a pretty good match here. This match had the magic that it had. Uh, sure, the last few minutes of it was a little bit finisher spam, but I didn't mind it at all. Not like the WrestleMania 29 twice in a lifetime match. But what they done here, John Cena and The Rock at 28 in Miami, they done a tremendous job with it. And I think it was the right call to make to have The Rock win because they were in Miami. So you kind of had to have the hometown person go over here. And it's a darn shame that we never got the Cena heel turn that we could have had after this match, or even after the 29. Yeah, or after this match. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. That's just how it is. It's the Vince getting cold feet and Cena getting cold feet. It sucks that we never got the Cena heel turn way back when. Coming in at the runner-up position at number 2 on this list from WrestleMania 23, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE title. To me, this is John Cena's best in-ring wrestling match at a WrestleMania ever. And you have the right dance partner here with Shawn Michaels. I mean, Shawn Michaels, you think of Shawn, you think of the showstopper, the headliner, the main eventer, and you have him go up against John Cena. Shawn Michaels put John Cena to work here. And these two went out and had a really good match. But the way I see it, they even had a ever better match the day after when they had that 60-minute match on Raw that went overtime. So I absolutely love that. And Cena and Michaels, I would definitely watch that match again. It's a match I would go back and rewatch if I were to watch something out of WrestleMania 23. But there's only one John Cena match I think is the very best, and it's not a traditional in-ring match at all. From WrestleMania 36 Night 2, it is a Firefly Funhouse where The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, took on John Cena. To me, this was an absolute love letter to everything for John Cena's career. You have the whole thing where John Cena comes out in the NWO shirt, and you have Bray Wyatt do the "You can look, but you can't touch." This was not a match. This was a skit, and it was the best damn skit you will ever see. WrestleMania 36, not a great WrestleMania at all. It's one of the worst WrestleManias because this was during the COVID era. But there's only one thing I would go back to watch WrestleMania 36 Night 2 for. That is this skit. That is this John Cena and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt at the Firefly Funhouse. Like I said, this is a love letter to everything that both Bray Wyatt and Cena has done. This made up tremendously for their match at WrestleMania 30. And that is all I have to say about that. That is my ranking of John Cena's WrestleMania matches, all 17 of them, from the worst to the very best. And this has been episode number 50, the milestone event. That is the Rock Out Wild Show. I'm going to end this episode with a quote, and it goes something like this. Taking the time to check in on your people can make a world of a difference. A simple message or call can brighten someone's day and remind them that they are not alone. Show them that you care and that they matter. In the fast-paced world, a moment of connection can be a precious gift. Reach out, listen, and offer your support. Your kindness could be the beacon of light someone needs in their day. Keep spreading love and positivity, one check-in at a time. Now, before I go, John Cena is going to have his last match in a few days, and I want to take the time to say this. Even though I don't like John Cena at all, I think he killed the wrestling business for a good portion of 10 years at some point. However, I don't hate the guy. I don't love the guy either. So I'm somewhere in the middle with him. But I do want to say this. I'm going to be a little bit sad that Cena is retiring. Just a little bit. Only because let's go Cena. Cena sucks. That's all I'm going to say. This has been episode number 50 of the Rock Out Wild Show, and I am your host, Just Mike. And on a final note, to all of you watching, get plenty of rest, and always do your best.